takeaways reading this book were, first of all, that it's not all about title and status, as I said. The second thing you mentioned just now, which was self-awareness. The idea that the best leaders show their vulnerability, lead with their vulnerability. Vulnerability is a narrative through line in so much of what you've done. And I want to come back to this in a bigger picture way than just simply in this book. But that is a big component of the best leaders. The best leaders are self-aware. They acknowledge, understand, and almost shine a light on their weaknesses, imperfections.
The definition of vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure.
Right.
You can't, I remember being at Fort Bragg and asking a group of Special Forces troops, give me an example of courage that you experienced in your life, on the field or off the field, or you saw in someone else that didn't require uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure.
Right.
And there was this long silence, and finally a young man stood up and said, 3 tours, ma'am, there is no courage without vulnerability.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get to courage without the capacity to deal with uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. And we've mythologized vulnerability.
We've
as
created
weakness.
this ideal that's ultimately unrealistic.
Yeah, and it's like that it's weakness, that it's oversharing.
Right.
That, people will say to me, I read Dare to Lead. I'm going to be a brave leader. How much should I cry? How much should I share? And I'm like...
Right. As if there's a cheat sheet, right?
And as if we want, oversharing, crying leaders. I mean, like, if it's a genuine thing, do it. But I'm not saying be vulnerable for vulnerability's sake. I'm saying when things get hard and uncomfortable, don't tap out of difficult conversations.
Right.
Stay in them, lean into them, even when they're uncomfortable, awkward, hard.